Hello, you're watching QPVN News. I'm Anh Tuấn and here's the headlines. President Tô Lâm welcomes newly accredited ambassadors. Vietnam, Russia, proud of cooperation achievements so far. Cần Thơ City exports first batches of mangoes to US, Australia. On June the 18th in Hanoi, President Tô Lâm received the ambassador of Pakistan, Mozambique and Timor-Leste, who came to present their credentials.
Congratulating Kodai Amari on being appointed as ambassador of Pakistan to Vietnam, President Lâm stated that Vietnam has attached importance to its relations with Pakistan and applauds the development of the bilateral friendship and multifaceted ties for the last over 50 years, while asking the ambassador to work closely with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and relevant agencies of Vietnam to further strengthen partnerships in economy, trade, science, technology, culture, tourism, and people-to-people ties. Vietnam always encourages and is ready to provide favorable conditions for Pakistani businesses to invest in the Southeast Asian country, especially in the fields they are strong at. Ambassador Mari highly valued the sustained friendship and multifaceted ties between the two countries for more than 50 years, affirming the wish to further develop the bilateral relations. Receiving Mozambican Ambassador Iundi dos Santos, President Lâm affirmed that Vietnam always treasures and wants to intensify the traditional friendship with Mozambique, one of its leading cooperative partners in Africa. He highlighted the flourishing bilateral relations, but also noted that there remains huge room for cooperation, so the two countries should step up all-level mutual visits and cultural and people-to-people exchanges. To make cooperation on par with the big potential, the state leader asked the ambassador to coordinate with relevant agencies of Vietnam to foster friendship in all spheres, including politics, economy, culture, defense, security, and people-to-people diplomacy. Sharing the president's opinions, Ambassador Santos said she hopes to receive assistance from the government and relevant agencies of Vietnam so as to enhance the two countries' friendship and cooperation in various areas more strongly. At the reception for Timor-Leste Ambassador João Pereira, President Lâm underlined Vietnam's wish to maintain the sound cooperative relations with Timor-Leste, saying bilateral cooperation still has much room to grow and should be effectively tapped in the coming time, including in such fields as agriculture, telecommunications, education, oil and gas. Therefore, he suggested the ambassador coordinates with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other local agencies to further bolster bilateral linkages. The president also asked both countries to continue implementing their REACH agreements, complete signing new ones, and encourage their investors to carry out programs and projects. Ambassador João Pereira respectfully thanked the president for taking the time to receive him and express his admiration for the achievements and development of Vietnam in politics, economics, and diplomacy.
On June the 18th, a mission of the Ministry of National Defense led by its Deputy Minister, Senior Lieutenant General Võ Minh Lương, head of the Ministry of National Defense Steering Committee 1389, inspected the legal dissemination and education work and the handling of administrative violations at Ninh Thuận Border Guard Command.
General Lương praised the recent achievements of Ninh Thuận Border Guards and directed the unit to urgently develop a plan to overcome the shortcomings pointed out by the inspection team. In addition, it is necessary to strengthen political and ideological education and improve political capacity and awareness of officers and soldiers of the role of the Border Guard Force.
The Vietnam-China Young Officer Exchange 2024 is underway in Beijing, China. In detail, at the International Military Cooperation Office of the Ministry of Defense of China, the Vietnamese young officers were briefed on the neighboring relations and defense policies, as well as the institution and a number of laws of China in the new era. The host also shared experience in developing the human resource in general and young officers in particular in the construction of the People's Liberation Army of China. Over the past 74 years, the relationship between Vietnam and the former Soviet Union and Russia today has been a testament to friendship and cooperation, formed and increasingly consolidated and developed in all fields. It is the common and priceless property of the two countries and two peoples of Vietnam and Russia. The sentiment between the two countries and people needs to be constantly nurtured and passed down through generations.
Over the past years, the cooperation frameworks between Vietnam and Russia have fostered the relationship between the two countries in all fields and channels, from the party, government, National Assembly, to cooperation between provinces and cities and people-to-people foreign relations. Thanks to the development of political diplomatic relation and economic relations between the two countries, bilateral trade turnover in 2023 reached $3.63 billion, an increase of 2.3% compared to 2022. The fields of economy, trade, investment, infrastructure, transportation, tourism, and people-to-people exchanges are continuously promoted. Defense and security cooperation between the two countries has been enhanced. Since Vietnam and Russia established their comprehensive strategic partnership, the traditional relationship between the two countries has developed strongly in all fields. In 2024, the two countries will mark the 74th anniversary of establishing diplomatic relations and the 30th anniversary of signing the Treaty on Principles of Friendly Relations. The two sides are actively fostering cooperation in new geopolitical conditions, sharing a common approach to many issues on the international agenda. From June the 19th to the 20th, Russian President Vladimir Putin will pay a state visit to Vietnam at the invitation of General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng. President Putin's fifth visit to Vietnam after he was elected for a new term is vivid evidence, tightening the traditional friendship and special bonds between the two countries and two peoples of Vietnam and Russia.
Cái chuyến thăm lần này của Tổng thống Putin.
The visit of President Putin shows the appreciation of Russia and President Putin and the international community on Vietnam's potential, position and international reputation through 40 years of innovation, affirming their respect for the leadership of the Vietnamese party. Vietnamese leader and President Putin will discuss important content to promote cooperation between the parties in the coming time. With the tradition and history of the two countries' relations, the friendship and cooperation between Vietnam and Russia has reaped many fruitful results. That is a solid foundation for the two countries to step up cooperation in the coming time.
Coming up next, Deputy Prime Minister receives U.S. Ambassador to Vietnam. Cần Thơ City exports first batches of mangoes to U.S., Australia. On the afternoon of June the 18th in Hanoi, Deputy Prime Minister Trần Lưu Quang received U.S. Ambassador to Vietnam, Mark Evans Napper.
At the reception, the U.S. Ambassador emphasized that over the last 9 months, the two countries have obtained numerous achievements in the implementation of bilateral commitments and the comprehensive strategic partnership framework. Particularly, linkages in the semiconductor and high-technology industries have been promoted quickly. He also affirmed that the U.S. supports and is willing to help Vietnam reach the goal of becoming a high-income economy and developing a green and digital economy. For his part, Deputy Prime Minister Quang appreciated Napper's role in the development of the two countries' relations. He asked the two sides to increase meetings and mutual visits to further intensify all-round connections.
Vietnam has been well implementing the policies related to children's rights to play, expressing gratitude to the government of Vietnam for initiating and promoting the resolution on the International Day of Play. Recently, representatives of the United Nations Children's Fund, or UNICEF for short in Vietnam, continue to affirm that play is one of the most powerful tools for child development, helping to shape the future, improve health and develop skills for children. And UNICEF is always ready to accompany Vietnam on the path to shaping that future. QPVN reporter had a conversation with Ms. Raquel Fernandez, Chief of Communication and Advocacy, UNICEF Vietnam, to get a clearer view of this issue.
So first of all, thank you very much for taking this interview with the QPVN channel. So recently in March 2024, the UN General Assembly passed a draft resolution that proposed by Vietnam designating June the 11th as the International Day of Play. So how do you evaluate this resolution and how important it is to adopt and put it into practice?
The right to play is fundamental. It's recognized in the Convention on the Rights of the Child, as well as in Vietnam's law on children. Yet, the importance of play in helping children develop lifelong skills is severely underappreciated, often forgotten. With just 30% of adults aware that play is a fundamental birthright, there is an urgent need to put play back on the agenda. To realize this goal, a dedicated network of global organizations, play experts, and children themselves proposed an International Day of Play. The government of Vietnam played a crucial role as part of the United Nations core group that promoted this initiative. The adoption of this International Day is significant. It underscores the role of play in child development. It is essential for the development of children's brains. It creates powerful learning opportunities, and it enables children to make sense of the world around them and conquer their fears. Play also helps them learn computational thinking, negotiation skills, problem-solving skills, all of them essential in the future world of work.
So in recent years, Vietnam has been implementing many programs to raise people's awareness on studying through play, while investing in public spaces to serve children's leisure activities. What are your views on this? And what suggestions could you give to Vietnam to perform better in the near future?
Play is a critical component of early childhood development programs, which are implemented by the government of Vietnam. For nearly half a century, UNICEF has contributed to these works. We have worked with the government to train teachers, particularly preschool ones, on how to facilitate play with children, encourage learning through play, and create toys from locally available materials. We also support music education for young children. And additionally, we have supported the parenting program aimed at enhancing the abilities of parents and caregivers to nurture, care for, and support their children's development. This program encourages quality time between parents and children, particularly through play. We equip parents with necessary ideas, skills, and methods to stimulate their children's confidence, curiosity, and creativity through play. We can always do more, and we can do better. We all need to do a better job of recognizing the value of play in children's well-being and development. So governments, policymakers, educators, parents, and communities all have a role in ensuring a playful future for every child.
So once again, thank you very much for your sharing today.
Thank you very much.
On June the 18th, a ceremony was held to announce the export of the first batches of green-skinned fresh mangoes from the Mekong Delta city of Cần Thơ to Australia and the United States.
This was the first batch of mango export under a contract signed between Lộc Hưng Agricultural Cooperative in Cờ Đỏ District and Vina TNT Company. This event is significant for the local agricultural sector since it not only provides huge economic opportunities but also helps promote the image and reputation of Cần Thơ agricultural products on their way to winning international markets. Cần Thơ City currently has 3,376 hectares under mangoes, with output estimated at 17,500 tons. Cần Thö's first green skin mangoes are sold in Australia and the United States, paving the way for more chances for local green-skinned mangoes.
This is the end of the QPVN News today. Remember to watch our news again at qpvn.vn. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.